Live from Rosemont, Illinois, Devin Price, reporter on the ground.
Reporting live from beautiful Rosemont, Illinois.
How's the weather in
Donald
Rosemont?
Convention Center. It's 50 degrees and sunny, and with a slight chance of furries.
High chance of furry. Oh, yeah, it's like
high chance of furries.
snow furries, flurries. There's something there.
Yes, yeah, that was the pun I was loosely going for. That was too obvious to even really be a pun.
Yeah, Devin is using an earbud as a microphone that will be passed back and forth, which is
yes. If anyone deigns to talk to us,
yeah. If you're in the area and want to say hi to Devin, come say hi, and he will shove a earbud in your face to talk into.
yes. Just a little. Wait, did somebody just chat? Because I'm not seeing the chat now, so maybe it's not. I don't know.
Oh, really? Yeah, it is. It is still chatting. Yeah. Somebody said hi.
Okay.
Hi, Sad Gardener, and 6 Word Stories.
Hello.
Let's see if we can.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because I saw Eric's furry emoji spam, but I didn't see anything after that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it now. Let's see. So this is the first time that we are trying to have the chat on screen. And for some reason, it is not showing. All right, I'm going to try to reset that briefly. So why don't you tell us some of your adventures? So you got to Furfest sometime yesterday, correct?
Yeah. So me and Mo, who I'm rooming with, we got here at like 4:35, and then we got in the line for the vaccine check, which took about 2.5 hours, maybe more than that. And then after you get your vaccine check, then you get in line for registration, and that maybe took another hour. And then, we kind of just toured the floor. Nemo is an artist, so they have like little art business cards to leave everywhere. And I left some books a few different places. And then, there was just a lot of activity. And then later on, we kind of broke off, and I went to the rave. And there, basically every single night from now until the end of Sunday night, there's a rave with DJs. And so I listened from like 10 to like 2 a.m. So I was there from like maybe like 12 to after it closed, listening to some Chilean and Indonesian breakbeat and some techno and watching ravers do their thing. And fursuiters, and it was gorgeous.
Yes. So to back up even farther, this is Midwest Furfest.
Midwest Furfest, the largest.
Is it the largest now?
I thought it is the largest. It beat Anthrocon in 2019, which is in Pittsburgh. And so I was part of that. Yeah. Me and Mo both were part of that illustrious 11,000 people that beat Anthrocon for the largest anthropomorphic animal people conference.
Yes, and I was there last year. I wasn't able to attend this year, but other than virtually.
Yes, other than in spirit.
But yes, it's very fun. And so this year, my point with that is I think, you said that there's one every night, right? A rave.
Yeah, there's a rave every night from 10 to 2 with like 4 different DJs usually, like a bunch of DJs every night.
It's so fun every night. That is definitely one of the highlights of the event. So I kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, we are here today and we're just going to be chilling, maybe talking to some random people, see if we can talk about
walking around,
see if we can talk about being furry and being autistic, all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, I should have gotten a sign that was like, ask me about furry autism or something like that.
You'll just have to yell about it.
Yeah. Oh, God. I know that's completely normal behavior here because people will yell out just about anything.
Right.
Including where are the sex parties? and get an answer.
Yeah, get an accurate answer.
Allegedly, or so I've been told.
Allegedly. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah. Has is anybody in the chat been to MFF or any conventions? Please let us know. Can you still see the can you see the chat again, Devin?
No, if people have been saying stuff, I can't see it at all.
That's so
No.
weird. I don't know why. You could see
Yeah,
me though, right?
I can see you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it might I think I'm seeing it on screen. So it might be something where it's like it doesn't. Yeah, I think it might like not work when I'm not on that scene. Anyway, irrelevant tech stuff.
Oh,
So I don't think you'll be able to see it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh wait, now I just saw it. I usually go downtown when the Pittsburgh Fest is in town just to check everyone out.
Yes.
And if it, yeah.
Uh, Eric also called you out for not hitting him up earlier. But yeah, it's very fun. Highly recommend it. And pretty affordable too. It's only like $70 or something for registration.
Yeah. The registration, the tickets for the actual convention are like $60. Like it's out of control. It's so wild. Like it's so affordable. Other than the hotel room,
Right, which you
but
don't have to stay at. It's just a lot more
other than
convenient.
that,
So you
yeah.
are staying in the convention center itself this time.
Well, I'm staying in the Hyatt, or the hotel that's connected to the convention center. So that means like it's like through the tunnel, like it's like I'm on the space station. I'm on the furry space station, and I don't need to leave all weekend
Yeah.
if I don't want to.
You have docked.
So, yes,
Uh,
just kind of walking inside so people can get a little bit more of a flavor of the activity
yes.
since it's pretty quiet outside right now.
Yeah, do you want to just
So
show a little of the room? This is the lobby, right?
yeah. This is the main lobby of the Donald Stevens Convention Center. So you can see the escalators behind me. Those go upstairs to the dealer's den and the artist's alley. And those are opening up right about now. So there's probably a really long line to get in there because that's always a hot commodity, buying all of the fursuits and the harnesses and the artwork and the dildos and all the accoutrements.
Speaking of dildos, I just have this on my desk at all times, so I didn't even prepare this, but this is why
Oh, yes.
this is why
The mini.
why going to Furfest is actually extremely expensive is because there's so much good shit to buy. This is a little
Yes.
tiny dildo that like an actual dildo company. This is like a real full-size dildo that you can buy, but they just make like little mini
Yeah.
versions of it.
It's like a little extra. It's very affirming as a trans mask.
Yes. I just literally
It's actual size.
actual size. I just keep it on my desk because it's so adorable.
Yes,
And
but they make all kinds of dildos. Bad Dragon mostly does dragon and alien kind of otherworldly dildos, but there's people that do dogs, whales,
all kinds of shit.
brachiosauruses.
Yeah.
Yes, any kind of fictional or real creature that you would want to get railed by.
Right.
Because who doesn't, you know?
Plus like
Then you can
ovipositors and stuff
do
like that.
lots of ovipositors. And for anyone worried or concerned that the 18 plus section of goods is parceled out and you have to show your ID to get in there. And then there's a larger vanilla section for looking at, you know, drawings and normal drawings, not sexual drawings.
Yeah.
Like, because there are a lot of furries that are not sexual and kids that are furries, you know, like, so they have systems in place for that.
Yeah, it's
so that you can have a good experience.
It's far says idea mini dildo blind bags, which is amazing. Yes, like blind bags of little loot boxes of the little mini dildos, like the ones we got.
Yes, and they're such a good fidget toy. For a while, I had one of my little mini like dinosaur dildos on my desk at work because I was like, they don't know. How will they know?
It's good that mine, because I also keep mine on my desk. It's good that mine is black and my desk is black. So because my spouse's parents come over and this
Yeah.
is the, as you can kind of see behind me, this is like the center of the house. So hopefully they just
Yes.
don't
But it
notice.
blends in. Yeah. It's HR Geiger core. Oh,
Okay.
look at that bat. Oh.
It's a
I've
very
seen
good.
so many bats this year. I don't know what it is, but there's so many cute bats here.
Bats are
Oh, there's
extremely good.
another one. Oh shit! Hold on. There's a pair of pastel bats over here.
Oh shit.
So
Those are so
cute.
good.
Yes. Or maybe pterodactyls actually, because they have little spines on them.
True.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Some sort of
yeah,
flying creature.
yes. You can see here's the line to the escalator up
Yeah.
to the dealer's den.
I think this took a long time last year, not because just how long the line was, but I think they were like waited like a long time before they even opened it. Like there was only a line at the beginning, so I don't know.
Right. I think it's just movement. Oh, and here we have a little what's her name? Chell from Portal.
Oh my
Chell
god,
Portal.
that's true.
Yeah, look
And a
at that.
moth.
It's amazing.
Very good.
Yes, and a beautiful moth.
That is
Oh my god,
gorgeous.
that's sick.
That's a really good
Oh,
combo right there.
whew. Yes. And here we have a beautiful wolf maid knight.
Oh, it's just like literally if you do nothing else and just come and see all of the. And the crazy thing is that I think that people don't. I don't know if everyone who's not a furry realizes is like how, I mean, how much work goes into these fursuits. And like
Yeah.
it's either tons and tons of time making it yourself or like $2,000 commissioning one. Like this is no joke.
Yeah, and still months. Like no matter what, if you're commissioning an artist, like you're talking this long process of like sculpting foam and sewing and gluing, and there's a lot of 3D printing for a lot of like if they have nails or teeth or claws or horns, like it's so intricate.
It's
Um,
wild.
and then there's just keeping it clean, you know,
Yeah.
and like and giving it the right personality because you're picking a face that you're gonna have forever every time you wear that character, you know, like
Right. And presume most people, if they can afford any, they can afford one. So it's probably going to be the
right.
one you have.
Yeah, yeah, you're talking, you know, for like the cheapest you could get if you want to look like a fursuiter is maybe spend $1,000 or $1,200 for something called a partial, which is just a head and maybe arms and feet. That you would wear regular like clothing underneath.
Right. Which I think is a
But that would
fun
be like a,
look.
yeah.
I think,
I want a partial, honestly.
yeah.
Like, because then you can dress it up however you want.
Right.
You know.
My favorite thing is I'm definitely my vibe is definitely like possum or just general, probably possum specifically, but trash animal in general. And I was so like
Yes.
affirmed because when I went there last year, like I didn't have any conception of like the furry community really, even before that, but in like in general, let alone like IRL con stuff. But it was so reaffirming that like there was just a bunch of like especially trans women, but like not only that were that had possum that were like possum fursuiters with leather jackets and like just, and it was
Yes.
like that's me, that's like my whole fucking vibe is just that. And I didn't even know I
Yes.
was a fucking trans,
Oh, thank you.
I didn't know I was a possum stereotype until I went to MFF last year, and then I was like,
It's wild. Oh my god. Also, actually, speaking of stereotypes, look at this deer, this beautiful feminine deer.
just ethereal,
There's,
ethereal.
and I was about to just say, like, there's so many trans deer. Like, as soon as I picked a deer persona, I ran into lots of trans masked deer, which I feel like makes sense. And then there's also a lot of trans femme deer. It's like a real equal opportunity um, identity.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the deer stuff from what I've seen is it's like about antlers, right? How antlers are like this gendered thing for deer. So it's like
Right.
there's both the like trans mask thing of like I'm gonna claim antlers because like that's, you know, that shows that I'm male, like have the antlers. But then also I think there's a
Right.
lot of stuff on the other side of like trans women like hold like having antlers and being like, I'm gonna how do I describe it, like hold on to my like XY, like, you know, it's like, yes, I'm a woman with antlers, deal with it, like that kind of vibe.
Right. Yeah, because antlers are so like elegant and pretty. Like
Right.
there's a shrine maiden deer going around who she has like cherry blossoms in her antlers, and she's wearing like just like kind of like Japanese clothing. Like it's very easy for antlers to be very masculine or feminine.
Right.
Um, and like it's a nice just like symbol of like yeah an appendage that can mean whatever you want it to mean, like so I think that's and I think there's something about like deer that are like pretty androgynous. What does that mean, calling an animal that? But you know what I mean, like they
Right.
just have this like kind of, they're muscular but they're skinny but they're elegant but they're weird little nervous freaks. Like you can project a lot of different qualities onto them, so I think that's one of the reasons they appeal so much. And a lot of animals shed their antlers too, so that also can be kind of meaningful in either direction for trans deer furries.
Absolutely. A couple of question in the chat. Fox Faux Faust asks, any pigeon sightings? That's my vibe.
Ooh, pigeons. So I will, going back to what Maddie was talking about, there's meetups for every kind of class of animal that's common, like wolves, there's a deer meetup, there's a trash animal meetup.
I
So that
missed
is
that, which was
possums.
like literally a
Yes.
crime. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. So that's possums, raccoons, pigeons. What else would be a trash animal?
Bats
Like
are in there sometimes.
bats. Yeah, bats. Yeah, any kind of creepy crawly. Maybe lizard. No, well, maybe like an alligator, like a swamp alligator. I don't know. Anybody who's a little nasty with it could go. So I haven't seen a pigeon yet. Birds are a little bit rarer, but you definitely do see them. I've seen a blue jay. I've seen some macaws. I'll be on the hunt for a pigeon.
Yeah.
That's a good challenge.
Try to, if you can, try to get us at some point this weekend. Try, if you see a pigeon, try and get a selfie for Foe.
Yes.
From Bread Hummus, Devin, I'm so happy your persona is a deer. Shout out Cervidae. I'm at Cervidae.
Cervidae, yeah, yeah. That's the like class that they're in, right?
Oh, I thought it was. I was like, is that a furry artist? I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Probably.
I mean, it might be. It probably is. Yeah. Oh my god, there's like this very hyper realistic guy. Oh wait, no, I missed him. Oh.
In the leather, rep in the leather. Yeah, Brett Hummus clarifies that's the deer family. Yes, like you thought.
See, Abby saying that they're new to the fandom, but they think their Sona is a deer. Yes. Deer are like great because they're like not the most common, but they're still pretty common. Like you see a lot of like reindeer.
Yeah.
I think I'm like a mouse deer or maybe a tufted deer. I like mouse deer because they're little and they have little fucked up teeth like fangs, lower fangs. So.
Yes, there's so many kinds of deer.
Yes,
it's very fun. I don't even know if I would say I have like a persona proper. There's a lot of art you can see. So all of the background art that you could see, especially in that in the beginning soon in our hold screen, but you can see a little bit of right now. That is all art. Mostly all of the art I could find of me or Devin. Most of mine comes from our mutual friend Minmo, at Minmo here on most platforms, I think. They are an extremely fun artist, and I will shout them out a bunch of times during the stream because they're extremely good and deserve your follow. But yeah, I don't know if I think possum for sure, but there's so many fun more specific creatures like you're talking about, like the tufted deer or whatever. I really like I also really like maned foxes, which are these. I think they're actually wolves technically. No, they're maned wolves, but they look like foxes. That's what it is. And they have these legs that are like a million miles tall, and they make me they're very me. Yeah, Skeletori. The lines are great. Everybody's super nice at these things and polite.
Yes, and they have so many volunteers. As I mentioned, the membership or like registration is pretty cheap, relatively speaking, and you can get a free registration also if you volunteer for like a shift. So there's people posted almost everywhere, kind of just like telling you where to go and what to do, and like people queue very well. Like actually, let me show you the line for the Starbucks because it's hell on earth, and yet people are not cranky and assholes over there. Even it's like shocking.
And they don't have their caffeine yet.
And they don't even have their caffeine. I brought some nasty international delights to make in the hotel room because I knew I would be cranky and would go bastard mode if I had to wait in line at this fucking Starbucks. And I'll also say today's Friday, so Saturday will be even more nuts. It just kind of grows and grows and grows and then keeps going for something called the Dead Dog Dance, which is Sunday night for the final stragglers.
Ugh.
So you can see this Starbucks it's actually not as bad as it usually is. Normally it's like just impossible to imagine even getting a beverage.
But it's still orderly and everybody is nice.
Yeah. They have a new thing here this year, which is alcohol-infused chocolates.
Damn.
I'm going to try some of these shits later for sure. Here they are. I'm very intrigued.
We have a little maned wolf on the screen too. What was the deer species you were talking? What was the fanged one? Is that the mouse deer?
Yeah, mouse deers or chevrotains have like little underfangs. They're so stupid looking.
Oh my god, they're so small.
Yes.
We're just I'm just gonna put some animal friends on screen for it to hang out with us.
Yes. I'll have to look it in the VOD later to fully appreciate. So here we can see is the cosplay medic. So that's if you have some kind of injury to your suit or your outfit. They have, scissors, needles, thread. They just have a little tip jar.
Extremely good people.
Just Velcro. Yes. Anything you need to get your gear repaired. Safety pins. Because shit falls apart. I think I am going to get in this line so that we can kind of go to some other places, maybe go through the tunnel.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend going to anyone who has any interest. Like, the first time I went to Furfest, I went alone. And I ended up running into people that I was friends with that I didn't know were furries. So it's kind of a Spider-Man pointing at each other meme. and I had a great time. People here are like very friendly. They have a badge system that actually I'll let the speaker go ahead of me. You can wear a badge basically on your tag saying whether like you welcome people coming up to you and talking to you, or if people should leave you alone.
Do you have one? Do you have one on you to show?
Yes. Yeah. Hold on. It's kind of hard to.
You got too much gear.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. So there's three. There's a green one, a yellow one, and a red one. That basically is like how much you want, how much you are open to, like people saying hi if they're strangers.
Right. Yeah. So green means come and say hi to me if you're a stranger. I'm here to meet new people. Yellow means please only talk to me if you know me, and then red is like please leave me alone. I need some time. And you get them with your registration badge, and you can switch through them at any time.
It's such a good system.
Yes. And they also, a lot of people have like, badges about whether or not they're like free hugs and things like that, like, or do not pet,
Right.
which our friend Spoonie wears.
Do not pet is extremely important.
Oh, I just saw someone mention the Muntiac, the barking deer. That sounds amazing. I don't know if I know those guys.
Here, let's get one. I can show you too. Oh, that's an extremely handsome deer. I'm sure they sound extremely good too.
I hope they look like they're scared and dying.
No,
Because
these
that's
this thing looks like it. You know what it looks like? It looks like the forest god in what is that Ghibli movie? Princess Mononoke.
oh, that's sick.
Look at that guy.
Oh my god. Wow, they look so magical. Like
Yeah.
they look like they're made out of wood. They look like they're a druid or a tree or an
Yes.
ent or something.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
And now it looks like I'm just talking to a deer on the
That's what I should. So Devin, for this stream, Devin has their own view, which is this. Devin has their own view that they're seeing the whole time. That's different from what y'all are seeing. So, but what I really should, they're seeing me and the chat. But what I really should have done is just had a picture of a of a possum that you're talking to the whole time.
possum chat. Oh god. Okay, I think I'm gonna try and get us to the tunnel, and then I might actually try out the phone harness to
Yeah.
see if we get a good view. I think I'm on the way over there. So basically, there's a tunnel connecting the main hotel, the Hyatt Rosemont, to the Donald Stevens Convention Center, and there's lots of events in the hotel itself, and so you have to go through this like heated tunnel of chaos, and it's very good because you just pass so many animals.
It really
On
is
your way
like
there.
it's just like it's like a theme park ride where you just see a slideshow of good fursuits.
Yes. Yeah, it's like walking the runway. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just so strong.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's far says muntjac are like dog size. You see them a lot in British woodlands. I was not that creature does not look dog sized. It looks like it would be taller than
Whoa.
me.
Yeah, but that is so like, English fantasy novel shit. Like that's beautiful.
So we got invasive to the UK but native to Southeast Asia. How did they invade Britain? How did they invade the UK?
Yeah.
Who brought them?
Finally.
Yeah. Southeast
Finally,
Asia
a
fighting
taste of
back.
their own medicine. Yes. Yeah, I wonder if people brought them over as pets, because like,
Oh yeah.
especially like aristocrats in England had all kinds of little fucked up pets that they didn't treat right.
There's that really good
Like a novelty.
there's that really amazing picture of Audrey Hepburn with her pet deer. I think she had a pet deer for like a movie or something and then
Yes.
like kept it. I don't know the whole story, but there's this really amazing picture of her in a grocery store with a deer.
Yes. And there's also, this used to be like the Tumblr girlies used to love this one. There's this burlesque dancer from the early 20th century, Zarita, and she had this like snake that she would like take for a walk. So for a very long time, like the Lana Del Rey Tumblr girlies would always be posting photos of burlesque dancer Zarita and her pet snake.
I had an ex-girlfriend who loved Lana Del Rey and wanted a snake. So that things are coming together in my mind.
Yep, that's the influence. Or who's to say what came first? Maybe because Lana Del Rey does have that line about hold your body like a python or something like that. So it's all connected. Oh, it's actually pretty quiet over here right now. I wonder if everybody's just in the dealer's den.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's a little bit more.
Is your phone in the harness?
No, I'm holding it.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I can try though.
Hi.
Hi.
God. And there and
Oh, this is
the nice thing is even if
okay.
even the people that aren't in fursuits, there's so many great outfits too.
Yes, yes. Everybody is just dressed in their best, and in some kind of concept or cosplay or something, even if it's not a fursuit.
Ooh, that's a very good question. It's far asked. Pre-prepared question: at what point is a person a furry rather than merely furry adjacent?
Oh well, that's a tale as old as time. And Maddie, I think you, being the person here who's most recently walked that path, everybody starts out by saying, like they make fun of furries, and then they say, "I'm not a furry, but Lola Bunny can get it," or Robin Hood, or Kovu the lion from The Lion King 2.
My
And
favorite is
then
Dan Avidan from Game Grumps, who has said for like 5 or however many years he's been on Game Grumps. Every time there's a furry girl in a game, he's like, "Come on, who wouldn't?" And it's like, Dan, you've talked about what your persona would be. You're a furry.
and that's the next stage. Like that, you first go like, "I'm not a furry, but so and so, this and this," and then you get some furry art commissions, and then next thing you know, you're in an animal costume,
Yeah.
and you're hanging out with the animal people, and you're like, "Wait a second, I just am one." And here was a breakthrough moment for me. I had a friend that I've known since college reach out to me, apropos of nothing, and like apologize to me for all of the rude jokes that they made about furries in college. They were like,
Did
"Listen,
you
man,
did you identify as a furry at that point when they did that?
no, no." But I think he was just like sitting back. He's like, "Well, I guess Devin's a furry, and I guess probably he always has been. So I guess I owe him some kind of apology for all of the cruel jokes I made about furries back in the day." And
Oh.
so he was really like sitting with that, like, and I was like, "Dude, it's not that deep. I just became one, like it's not." And you can still make fun of it, like.
A really good story in that regard, and I know we're sort of circling the question without answering it, but is oh, that's crows. Oh, crow sona's so good.
Yes, that
Um
shit was dope.
uh but I love the story of how the McElroy brothers stopped being pieces of shit. Because the McElroy brothers of My Brother and Me, they're if you're not familiar, are three cishet white men that are like pretty popular in the trans community and like generally pretty good. I mean, not that there aren't exceptions. I'm not gonna. I there are definitely exceptions, but they used to be like dude bros that were kind of pieces of shit. And at one point,
Yeah, just made, yeah, bad jokes, like not even funny. Yeah, just run of the mill. Yeah.
right. And at one point, Justin went there. They were in one of the very early episodes, like less than 50 for sure of the podcast. They started making fun of furries, and Justin went on this long tear about literally like if there's a building with furries in it, like burn it down, like that bad of like
Right.
furry hate shit. And
Yes.
they got called out, and they're basically people were like explain to them like these are people that have an interest you don't understand, like get your shit together, what the fuck is your problem? And they like heard it. um so I think furries are an interesting sort of like canary in the coal mine for like all of the bullshit in the same way that like trans people are, or where it's like, oh well, it's acceptable to call furries degenerates, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I think people's attitudes towards furries kind of reveal like what they have or haven't interrogated about like nonconformity and, like you said, sex, even though it's not always sexual, but like
Right.
whatever you perceive as silly or depraved, and inappropriate, and it really maps onto like a person's attitudes towards disabled people and trans people, and of course that that Venn diagram is a circle.
Right.
God, I
Yeah.
passed like 3 other teal deer in this hallway alone.
Oh, so good.
Oh, God, I need a suit so bad.
We'll get you. It'll be a business expense.
Yes. I mean, as if I weren't already lying on my taxes, but yes, I'll definitely claim
uh, that was a joke.
that. For in Minecraft.
For,
I'm lying on my taxes in Minecraft.
um, I just noticed the audio clipping a bunch. So also please tell me what the audio situation is. I never know what the fuck the audio situation is. For those of you in chat,
Oh. Oh, was
um,
that me? Did I
I
do
think
something to do that?
it may have been me. Yeah, yeah. It's like anything else. You need to be able to paint with a finer brush. Not all furries are degenerate, but Dev is.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, I am, and it's good. It's good. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
speaking of, yeah,
uh,
there's a real thick friend over here.
just such good suits.
So beautiful.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
very good.
Yes. Yes. And she does have a trans flag on her shirt, so you know.
You know,
Oh
Venn
my god, this one's
diagram.
smoking it too.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. Oh, this reindeer is so big too. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh.
there are a lot of reindeer at MFF since it's in December.
Yes. And that's what great timing, because these things, as you can imagine, these things are fucking hot to wear. You'll see a lot of furries with fans around their neck or like jammed into their mouth hole because they're dying. So doing this in winter is definitely preferable.
Yep. Is that
There was something I was going to say, but I can't.
to the left? Is that fursuit that's walking away? Is that person? Is that like a Half-Life? Oh, they're kind of. I'm like fucking looking back and forth, like I can see.
Oh, in the armor?
Yeah, was that a Half-Life thing?
Let me see.
It looked like a
Let me
Half-Life.
see if I can follow them.
Creep. Yeah, it's for. I recently commissioned some anthropomorphic dog art, so I'm not a furry just feels disingenuous. Yeah, it's hard to. It's definitely hard to deny it once you've spent money on what your someone drawing your persona.
Right. I went from like, oh, I'm just an ally. I just think they're neat, to like, oh, I've spent hundreds of dollars on furry art of myself. That pipeline is very common.
Um.
And then you're there.
Yep. So my story is very funny, because so basically, um, I I never I to my credit, I don't think I ever had like an anti-furry phase. I think I was always cool with furries from the moment I like knew about them. Um, Furries know how to draw, so you know, like the porn's good. So that's always the thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I never like identified as furry in any way or thought about it. And but I started dating this girl, um, in about 2019, 2018, and it was like mostly online at the time, and basically I noticed that she kept using OWO, like OWO.
Oh, the uwu face.
Yeah. And I was like, so I straight up asked her, I was like, are you using OWO as a bit or are you a furry? She just
Oh my god.
responded.
No judgment.
Yeah, no, seriously, I was just like curious. I think I did say that. I was like, I'm just curious, like, are you is that what's the deal? And she responded with like a gif of like like a like you know, some anthropomorphic animal going like ah. And so
That's adorable.
and it was in that moment that I realized that I it wasn't finding out that she was a furry was not a neutral discovery for like information to me that I was excited about that. Like not in like a sexual way,
Yes.
even just in like a, oh, that's sick. I'm really excited to learn this. And I was like, why is that,
Like,
Madeline?
huh. Yeah, what does that mean if it's a plus?
Why is that
If that's desirable in some way.
why is that, Madeline? Oh, very good
Yeah.
possum.
Yes. Very
Possums,
good.
plural.
Very good creatures. Well,
Um,
look at this little 8-bit deer hat. That's really
oh, that's
cool.
sick.
Oh my god. That's beautiful.
I saw in the tunnel. I saw a just a very rough cardboard um head that was extremely good.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so that it was in that moment that I was like, you know, there's probably something to this, and um I was already married to my current spouse, and we're poly, so they like knew I was dating someone. But I was had been talking to them to this other person in bed, like chatting with them, and I like had that. They said that to me. I realized what that meant, and then I rolled over and was like, Megan, what if I'm a furry? Like,
Oh.
and they were like, oh my god, Madeline. They weren't upset. They're just like, oh my god. uh,
Coming out to your spouse in a completely different way from what
I
that usually means.
I thought I was done coming out. Came out as,
Yeah,
came out as gay, came out as trans, came out as poly.
it never stops. And you know what? Maybe you'll be otherkin next. Maybe this is just the first step
I
on the otherkin.
Speaking of which, I will say that I will out myself. This is dangerous because I don't know y'all, most of the people watching this have just met me, y'all know Devin, but I will out myself as having had a fuck buddy for a while that was otherkin, and I was
Yes.
not into it.
And that's a person who was like really weird in a lot of ways, right?
Oh yeah, they
I
were
think you've told me
super
about.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounded like appealing because people, it goes back to having that dog in them. Like, do you have
Yes.
that dog in you? Do you have that freak in you? And people who believe really weird shit, like that's attractive to me. Like that's approachable,
Yeah.
or just have weird ideas. They got weird stuff in their head. That to me is beautiful.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, otherkin is someone who like actually believes they are in some spiritual way, like actually their persona. And this person very much did believe that like literally and unironically. And while I mean I'm an atheist, so like I didn't think that that was possible in reality. But I still don't think that's weirder than like any other religious belief. Like, if you want to believe you're a wolf,
Right.
that's probably actually less harmful than some religions that like make statements about how you should, you know, treat other people badly or whatever. Like, it's a pretty morally neutral
Right.
spiritual belief to have.
And we were just talking the other day about how personas are zodiacs that you pick, right?
Yes.
So like if somebody feels an affinity with an animal and that helps them draw strength or like self-concept or feel empowered or feel sexy or whatever it is, like that sounds at least as good and if not arguably better than like believing in like being a Gemini or whatever the fuck, like because at
Right.
least you can kind of pick it or be drawn towards what you're drawn towards rather than just going with what's put on you. So
Absolutely. I think that there's so much, and I think that that's why there's so many trans furries, is because it's like it's interesting because it's definitely like I think gender is a huge part of like picking your persona, and like gender expression. Like you are finding an expression of yourself that is more right than whatever expression has been put on you by what you physically look like. Like I think
right,
it's there are a lot of, there are a lot of people that for gender reasons or or whatever reasons, you know, it could be because of your weight or anything. Like, other people don't perceive you the way that you see yourself and want to be perceived. And so picking a persona that it does show that is like so affirming. And it's like interacting as, because animals have all of these preconceived notions that we sort of either play into, or the opposite of that, you know, sort of like play against. It's really easy to take this, you know, to take stuff that is like just define your identity outside of the normal human terms, and it's
Right. Yeah, because there aren't those preconceived notions about what your body has to mean. Like, even though there's stereotypes people associate with what animal, you can be a really shy, outgoing puppy, or you can be a really loud, proud, like, you can be a service animal, you can be a rescue dog, you can be whatever kind of manifestation of that animal that you want to be. And there's such a huge overlap between furries and neurodivergence too, because you get to put on this character, and you don't have to necessarily talk as much. You can emote with your physicality. And this is something that I wanted to talk about, and this kind of goes back to our other idea of having an ADHD versus autism conversation for a future stream.
Yes.
It's just the differences in how we perceive the world. Even though those two things go together a lot, I think it's nice that you and I are each mutually exclusive on those things. And so when you were here last year, you said something about how hard it is to make sense of how to interact with a fursuiter because you can't see their face, so you can't tell anything about how they're feeling. And that blew my fucking mind, because that's how I normally feel with most people. I have no idea what I'm looking at, and I assume kind of negative if I can't tell.
Right.
And I feel so much more comfortable looking at a fursuit in the eyes, waving at a fursuit, smiling at a fursuit, being around one in a variety of ways. Like,
well, and they aren't assuming you're understanding what they're emoting because of their face, because they know their face is covered, and so they know,
right?
Which is a big part of why a lot of people, I think, enjoy fursuiting too, is because it is this, like, there's an aspect to it for a lot of people, I would imagine anyway, is like you are communicating only through like how you're moving and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, and it's also, and the flip side of that is that you can choose what you want to project to the world when you're choosing your suit and your face, which, that's something that I don't always have a lot of control over. Even with masking, like, there's just such a limit to what I can kind of convey. I can't really convey approachability, for example. Like, I can't convey certain emotions to people in a way that, like, the average person can read. But if you put on an outfit that says I'm a cuddly, bear or a deer, come and hug me, you can communicate that and have people pick it up all of the time without you having to, like, force an inauthentic facial expression onto your actual face.
Right.
You just Waluigi just
oh God, yes.
He gave us a very good look.
So many good fits.
Yes. So there's a lot of ways in which, like, choosing what face you have is so empowering and is like a tool for accessibility and emotional communication.
Yeah. It's really empowering. I think if I had to sum up what being a furry in any capacity is about, it's sort of like it's about choosing how you present yourself being an empowering thing, and choosing how you present yourself in a way that is divorced from your physical body, whether that's mostly that takes the form of, when you're online, anyone could be a dog, right? Where it's like, it's just your profile picture, and the art you draw or commission of yourself is just like sort of what
anyone can be a dog on the internet.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just empowering to choose how you represent yourself, and the proxy of animals is such a good way to do that.
Yes. Yeah, they're both a blank slate, but not completely a blank slate because people have so much.
Can you hear me? You're kind of cutting in and out now. I think maybe going in this hallway.
So it makes
Hello?
it more
Can you hear me?
approachable to interact. And I think that's part of why these are usually. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Did I freeze?
you kind of cut out for a second. You're coming back now though. I think you just went
Oh, okay.
into a dead spot.
Yeah, I think just getting back into the tunnel just kind of messed with me a little bit.
Yeah, so if you could repeat what you're saying.
Just that like with furry like animals are both a blank slate and there's just this baseline of affection. People are just less scared of animals than they are
Yeah.
people. Like it's just there's just this warmth that certainly I feel just like for any fursuiter that
Yeah.
when I see a random person, it's way more like of like I don't know what I'm gonna get out of this interaction or what this
Yeah.
person makes of me, or like all of those self-conscious feelings. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Uh so Kalinsky asks, I know absolutely nothing about, states, I know absolutely nothing about furry culture, but it seems to make sense to me from an animism slash animist perspective. I'm not totally sure. I've heard those words before, but not well enough to know. I don't know if you know the specifics of that. Kalinsky, if you want to
No.
elaborate, feel
Yeah,
free.
yeah, I'd love to hear more. I mean, I've definitely heard of like I mean, is that like something to do with just kind of like archetypes related to animals and like not like the Jungian like collective consciousness, but like in the more like I feel like it's some kind of like pagan thing, but I might be completely wrong.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with that. Bread Hummus asks, "Are there plant furries?" And I, I think there are, but they're just exceedingly rare.
I mean, I there's definitely animals that have vines and flowers and nature incorporated into their animal sona, but I don't really normally see like like a Venus flytrap walking around. But like, there's no reason it couldn't be like
Yeah,
because you see robots here. You see protogens, which are like those kind of like robot dog things that we've seen a few that we walk past them with the LED faces. And there are people that are just straight up like robots and like fantasy creatures here. So
yeah. I
I
think
guess I think people,
they're
yeah,
they're
less
def
likely to project consciousness onto plants, but they could.
yeah, it's definitely. I definitely think that it's. It's to the point where I don't think I've really heard. Like I can remember seeing or hearing of one, but I don't. If someone did have a plant sona, I think I don't know a single furry that would have a problem with it, and they would be welcomed same as any other sona. I think. Um, a very
Right, that's the thing. It's very open. Yeah.
a very strange thing that I've thought about, and this isn't something I've never heard of. I think I've heard of it at least once, but is there's almost no monkey or ape sonas, um, which is an interesting
Yes.
thing. I'm sure that I have seen at least. I think I've seen a gorilla, which is even kind of like the most out of all of those, kind of one of the farther ones from like human, but it's interesting because it's like you can't
Yeah.
anthropomorphize a monkey. They're already anthroed. So
They're already
it's
so human. Yeah.
right. So
Yeah, it's really rare. Yeah, exactly. It's too close to human already.
I'm gonna Google tree sona right now and see what comes up. Oh my god, you know what I'm fucking finding is happy tree friend personas.
Oh, of course. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Okay, you
Yeah, I think people are more likely to project themselves onto specific like cartoon characters that are maybe not actual animals than to like have a non-animal sona that's a real thing.
yeah, very very few results. I'm seeing one, two, three, four, five results that actually are tree sonas just on first Google search, and they're not like You can tell that they're not like they're I don't want to judge the art quality, but it's like, these are not professional artists, so that like shows the more nicheness of it is the
Right. It's a less developed artistic ecosystem and medium.
right.
The plant sonas.
Bread hummus got to dress up as a dandelion to fill that ecological niche. I am so for this. I absolutely love this.
That's cute.
You could have
Dandelions are a
multiple.
cute plant.
You could have multiple sonas that are like you could have your normal dandelion and then like when
Okay.
it transforms into the puff, I don't know what you call that.
So we
Extremely
just
good though.
received word that the dealer's den is full, which is good to know.
Oh, so like occupancy, as in no new people can go in at the moment.
Yes, which it just opened less than an hour ago, so that's understandable.
Eric says, in regards to a dandelion sona, ask people to blow you, which is very good.
Yes, disperse my seeds.
There's a rich vein here that is unexplored, and somebody should do something about that.
Yes.
Yeah, animism could be considered pagan, attributing living thing characteristics to everything in the natural world. Those of cultures adopt animal characteristics. Absolutely. There is.
Oh yeah.
There's absolutely
Oh, sorry, go
roots.
ahead.
I was just gonna say roots from furry to ancient traditions.
Well, and also going to the hyper empathy, whatever you want to call it, or that some autistic people have, or empathizing with inanimate objects or stuffed animals, which of course most children do, period, regardless of neurotype, right? Most kids empathize with their stuffed animals, and that's where you get that phenomenon of, oh, I worry that the stuffed animals that are on the shelf are jealous of the ones that I sleep with at night, so I'm going to rotate which stuffed animal gets a turn in the bed, and lots of kids do that.
Right.
And a lot of autistic people tend to exhibit that empathizing with objects and animals, and sometimes even just bridges or trucks or anything
Right.
into adulthood as well. So that also might be part of why so many of us are drawn to furry. A lot of us sleep with stuffed animals, and obviously fursuits look a lot like stuffed animals and have that kind of comfort object, a safe thing to empathize with instead of a scary, hard to parse human.
Yeah.
But I think that can also connect to belief systems about seeing everything in life as interconnected and part of the great like tapestry of being, whether it has consciousness in the way we recognize it or not.
Yeah.
Yes, this paper will be very sad if you read it. Hyperempathy in autistic individuals. Yep, that paper is so cute.
That's extremely good.
Yes, one of the rare examples of very good scholarship, or at least the title was good.
It's for a dandelion going all puffy is called going to seed, which is very good.
Ooh, yes, very suggestive.
I'm gonna seed.
I'm gonna seed. Oh, oh, baby, I'm about to seed. Okay, so here's somewhere we haven't been yet. This is kind of the some of the conference rooms in the Donald Stevens, because this is not just people walking around in fursuits.
Yeah.
There's panels. There's a panel on autism and furriness, which I really probably should have tried to be on that, but I thought way too late.
Oh, next year. Next year you should just do a panel see if you can like come up with a panel or like a talk and just do it from scratch. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And I think if I just remembered to apply sooner, I definitely could. There's a furry psychologist panel. Sometimes there's a furries in mental health specific one as well. There's panels on writing, shibari, kink. There's escape rooms. There's all ages stuff. There's stuff on drawing. There's stuff on fursuit construction, demos. all kinds of shit. Like
Yeah,
there's just so much overlap. D and D, like any kind of nerdy hobby you can find here. There's an arcade. Played some rhythm games earlier today. Like
nice.
lots of programming that your $60 ends up getting you.
I keep meaning to ask, but I will ask now. If anybody is in the chat and hasn't chimed in, please tell us what is your fursona, or what is, if you had,
Yes.
or if you're not a furry and you had to pick a fursona, what would it be?
One thing that's fascinating to me is certain beloved animals just really don't appear as personas that often.
Yeah,
Like capybaras, you don't see, um, even
that's
though they're like a meme animal now.
that's a really good point.
Certain breeds of dogs that are really popular, you don't really see as personas that much. Like you'll see a corgi, but you won't really hardly ever see like a pug. Every now and then.
Or like a bulldog, or
Yeah, or a bulldog. Yeah, or a Frenchie. Those are super popular animals to have as pets, but not as a persona necessarily. Or Mimo and I were talking earlier today about how people love cats. Obviously, this is a group of like nerdy introverts. People love cats here, but most people, if they're gonna have a persona that's a cat, it's gonna be a lion or a tiger. It's not gonna be a house cat,
yeah.
which
I
is interesting.
it's funny because as I started to getting into furry stuff without knowing a ton about it, I was definitely like, well, I can't be a cat. That's too boring. And but actually,
Mm-hmm.
cats are not that crazy common, weirdly. Um,
Right. Yeah. Dogs are like wolves, dogs, foxes, super popular. Squirrels, not that popular. I saw one with a nice big tail
definitely,
last night, but
definitely extant, but not, yeah, not super popular. You talked about what needing some sort of rodent sona and thinking. Did you say squirrel?
squirrel, definitely. Yeah, if I wasn't a deer, I would definitely be a squirrel, or like a jackalope or something, because like,
Ooh,
or like a jackalope squirrel, some kind of nervous little rodent. And I also like just being like a Midwest mammal that's very common
yes.
and nervous.
Very much a tangent, but I absolutely loved. Me and my spouse had Devin and a few other people out to our house, which is in like a suburb in Michigan, rather than a big city. And y'all pointed out, y'all were so excited by the chipmunks because apparently there aren't chipmunks in big cities, which was like such a weird thing I didn't realize.
Yeah, yeah, you see plenty of squirrels in Chicago, and Chicago squirrels are like college campus squirrels. Like you'll see them carrying a full Dunkin' Donuts box up a tree. Like they're they'll fight you with a knife. But like chipmunks are too fragile or something. I don't know. You just don't see chipmunks in the city as much.
That's so I've been to Chicago a bunch of times and never noticed that. Um,
Yeah, ducks too. For some reason, we have geese, and again, they'll kill you with a knife. But ducks are a little bit harder to find.
Interesting. Um, to point out just some personas in the chat is strong. Kalinsky strongly gravitates towards stags and bears. Very good choices.
Nice.
Um, bears a little bit more rare too. Not not like unheard of or anything. Just not one of the like top 10 or something. Um,
Yeah, you'd think for especially it being like a gay male identifier, you'd think
right.
there'd be more bears on us. Yeah.
I feel like there's just more furries are like tend to be way more little Twinkie subs for some reason. I don't know. Not I just feel like there's
Well,
a
you know
lot of
what?
foxes.
There's a lot of foxes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's I will say from just some of the internet websites that I was on last night that there's plenty of tops in furrydom.
Yeah, no, not that it's not that there's not.
Animals, yeah, yeah, but there's like a cutesiness and a softness even to like the toppy people in furry fandom. I feel like.
Yeah. Um uh t- 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 affinity to rats, rat sona, chubby kumquat, rats are extremely good. Um Ultimate squirrel is Ratatoskr from Norse mythology. I don't know if I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it a big rat?
Oh, it's a squirrel.
Oh, sick.
Oh, yeah, that's that they're yeah, cuz that character was in uh the game that God of War. I
Um,
remember hearing about that because what is the that YouTuber voiced him in the game? Very good YouTuber and voice actor. Um, Bread Hummus says deer and plants. There's a lot of deers in the chat. Um, love the amount of deer.
yes.
And
Yeah,
so
Kickstarters are very popular.
um, there also to back up. So Eric says cat e-girls don't count, and Bread Hummus,
Oh,
which when we're talking about cats, and Bread Hummus says I think that's because the public has kind of already accepted cat girls outside of the furry world. Yeah, that is not. I would definitely say, and this is a whole discussion that we can have, and one that is I think frequently brought up. But the way that I think about it is like it's like square and rectangle, right? Like cat girls and cat boys, and that sort of representation is like within the furry
they're
category.
anthros for sure. They're anthros, but they're more anthro than they are animal.
Right. And so they're definitely
But they're in the, yeah.
their own specific like subcategory within the sort of anthro bubble, but they are sort of like a slightly different thing than like furries proper. So,
Right. And yet there is something that, like, obviously we are having a cat girl moment right now, and maybe we always have been. People understand that if you take a cute girl and you put cat ears on her, it's more attractive
yeah.
somehow, for some reason. Why? You know? And
We
riddle me that,
yeah, we
woke
could
moralist.
we could spend the entire stream just talking about that.
Yes. Something's going on there. But so then, like, and Playboy bunnies, like, are Playboy bunnies the original cat girls, the original furries? Like,
That's a
something's
really
going
good
on there.
point.
Yeah.
When did
Though of
cat
course people always point to like Egyptian gods that were very anthro animal people too. So of course it's always been there. But
Yep.
was
Squid
it always sexy to people?
Squid Girl era never took off. That is a shame. Squid Girls would be good.
Yes. Usually it's just girls with squids. One girl, one squid.
Fisherman's wife.
Yes, exactly.
Crab Sona is extremely powerful.
That's a great choice. That's a great choice. A crab crucifixion or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Carcinification.
carcinization. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, jellyfish. I've definitely seen art of jellyfish sonas, though usually it's like a girl, a glowy, sexy girl who's also a jellyfish.
That's true.
A little bit more on the human side, but it definitely happens.
Oh man, I this is my first time actually seeing your rig. That's extremely good.
Oh yeah, yes, it's really solid. We're gonna have to like get into like some kind of sport where I would need to wear this and live stream it,
MFF
or
is
just do more
furry conventions are a sport, right?
I mean, my legs are tired already, so it's a sport to me. Definitely a sport to me.
So you mentioned having given out or hidden some books, right? Some autism unmasking autism. I was gonna say autism doesn't exist, which is my secret thing that I have in my head is like the anti Devin has written autism doesn't exist and
Yes, but
unmasking
laziness
laziness.
does.
No, yeah, unmasking laziness.
Masking laziness. Autism doesn't exist.
um But yeah, so you had some unmasking autism. Has anybody come up to you and asked for a book?
No, no. And normally, like, if I'm in a place with this many queer people, I start getting recognized, which is like very weird. But I think the furry group is like separate enough that that doesn't happen, and people are looking for, like a big blue wolf. They're not looking for any kind of human. But I know I stashed 6 copies of the book so far in various places. I have 4 more on me. Um, and they were all gone within, like, I would leave them somewhere and then kind of circle back and they'd be gone. So,
Nice.
and I drew little animals in them and stuff like that.
Aww.
Yeah. So, I know there's a lot of autism in the furry community. I don't know how much people are like familiar with the book or what, but some of them will be now.
Yeah. uh,
I think I saw Eric mentioning having used a rig like this for virtual escape rooms. So was that like you were going to walk people through an escape room while they're at home telling you what to do or how to interact with things, or was it like a video recorded?
oh no! Did you did that, Eric? Because I've heard of that, and it sounds like I think there was a my brother and me question or something that someone was asking about that they were going to have to do that from the other side, like their company was going to get on a Zoom call and do a virtual escape room where they were all going to be yelling at some poor worker, and that sounds like literally
That's
the nightmare
awful.
scenario.
Being in an escape room with coworkers already sounds like a nightmare. Doing anything that's supposed to be fun with coworkers is a nightmare. Um, but sitting in a Zoom pretending to have fun, um, that's ungodly. Oh, and you'd have another phone to keep track of inventory. Oh my god,
Jesus.
that's
That's
a nightmare.
that's such a nightmare. Somebody thought they were a genius when they thought of it. And,
Yes,
uh,
that's awful. All right, I will just flag that I just got the low battery notice on my phone.
oh my gosh, I didn't
So
even think about that.
yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't give a shit, but
You could try turning your brightness down a little bit if it's
okay, it's already pretty low. Oh wait,
okay.
shit.
I always keep mine at full because I'm a crazy person. So
Oh, I usually keep it low because otherwise it hurts me. I did just put it into battery saver mode, so it says I supposedly have an hour, but I bet that's not true because it burned up 60% or more of my battery in the last, or no, like 90% of my battery in the last hour. So
that's okay.
we'll see. When I disappear, just assume I got mauled.
And we'll assume you
As
liked it also.
yes. Okay, let me actually try the rig. I've been wearing this thing this whole time. Oh wait, did you freeze?
Nope, I'm still here. Or
Okay.
I can still see you.
Okay. Yeah, you froze for me for some reason, but the audio everything's still working.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions in the chat, please ask them before Devin
Before I die.
disappears.
Okay, now it is. Now it's in.
This is okay. This is great.
It's so stable, so I am glad that I got it. I'm sure it'll be useful for something.
I feel like I wanna make you go you go get like a selfie with somebody or something or not that I
Oh my
would
god.
actually, but
It'll just be just like Twitch plays Pokemon.
mm-hmm. Yeah. If you have any commands for Devin, Twitch plays MFF.
Yes. Or Germa Sims, I guess, basically.
Yeah, if anyone has seen or is familiar with previously All Gas No Brakes, currently Channel 5, I think
Channel
is.
5. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
if you've seen that video of them at a Furfest, this is the Furfest. Um, and
The one and only.
this is the if you've ever seen, oh, what is the? I'm trying to remember what the line is of that person that in the maid costume.
Oh, huh.
They're like a
Is this the
puppy.
cat girl?
They were like a puppy cat or something. They said.
Oh, Witten.
Witten, right? A wolf
Witten,
kitten.
who chose to become undocumented so that she could be more like an animal.
Yeah. If you've ever seen that video clip, that was from here.
So iconic. Yeah, that was Furfest 2019, the largest so far, I believe. Because I think the pandemic obviously put a bite into the last two in size.
Were you at that one?
2019? Yep, Minmo and I were both here, so we helped make it the largest Furfest
Oh, so good.
on record.
Did you see either the Witten or the Channel 5 guy in person?
No, I had not known about Channel 5 yet.
Yeah.
It was because of the Furfest stream that I got into his work. So I wouldn't have known to look for him. And I've heard talk about Witten. People talk about her. I guess she's like 2 years sober now, so good for her.
Yeah, I think yes, I think they've gotten a little bit healthier.
Yes, because she was. She's really about that life.
Yeah, Andrew is
And
absolutely.
she's an Ohioan.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, Andrew is probably one of the great interviewers of our age for sure.
He is so good at what he does, and he isn't just doing novelties like that. Like, his coverage of the insurrection or not the insurrection, of the uprising in 2020 was so good. His coverage of the insurrection was also good. Like, I'll have to send it to you. It's really fantastic. All right. Well, it looks like the dealer's den line is moving.
Oh yeah, maybe we can get into the dealer's den.
Yeah. We'll see. It's definitely not as bad as the 2-hour line we were in for it last time.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of stuff to buy at these is just because it's just all small creators that are all, well, not all small creators, but mostly small creators and at the biggest small companies that are just doing phenomenal work. Art
Yes.
and so many plushies and body pillows.
Yes, body pillows, clothing, sweatshirts, fanny packs, fursuit heads, harnesses, everything a modern furry needs. And many things they don't.
Yeah.
Many things that no one needs.
I know. That was the biggest reason I didn't go this year, is just because I was like, I will spend too much money.
Yeah.
If you want more very good MFF content, Devin has I don't know what you call it. It's like a saved story.
Oh yeah, it's an Instagram story highlight. Yeah.
Right. So if
I have ones for the last two Furfests.
So if you go into Instagram, and I think it's like up at the top of the profile, there should be, you can scroll back
Mhm.
through the highlights, and there should be a million stories from last year, and then if you go farther back, even more.
For 2019, yeah.
Oh, I saw a very good bird tail back there.
Yes, they were like a griffin kind of creature.
Mm.
I need to stand up with good posture so you can see things.
Oh no, you're good. This is really really good camera work, considering you're it's just like on your body without you like doing anything.
Yes. Yeah, the line is moving pretty well, so we might make it.
We might actually get in, which is very exciting.
Yes.
So you said you okay, so we talked about deer. Obviously you have the deer sona, and you said
Mhm.
squirrel might be number 2.
Yes. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, squirrel would be number two. Chinchilla is that's the other thing that is a consideration with fursuit selections. Can it be easily made into a shape that a person can wear? So
Ooh.
like a chinchilla sona you could do, but it would have to be dummy thick
Yeah,
in
because
the way that certain suits are super thick.
they're very round. They're very round, and so you'd have to. But I would love that for you. I would love for you to have a dummy thick chinchilla suit.
Yes. People who like really have multiple, fursuits, which we're talking, tens of thousands of dollars if they're living that kind of life.
Right.
You can have different characters you embody for different sonas.
I I really want, and I might try to make this at some point. I love that possums are just, their faces are just sort of like cones that open up. Like if you can see the right
Yes.
picture of a possum, it's just a cone with some little beady eyes. And I really want to make a fursuit head that is like more, not even a whole head, just like a mask that would just be like a cone that like opens up like a Muppet. Oh, nice. I think we're actually getting in, which is amazing.
Yeah. Sorry, continue. The cone.
Yeah, I want a fursuit head that is basically just like a mask, or like a cone that I would put on my face, and then like just basically wear my normal outfits, which is just lots of leather and strappies. Um, yeah, bear tails are so they're so awful in a beautiful way. I love them, and they're horrible little
Yes.
grabby hands.
I want to lotion them. I want to lotion them up.
Oh my god. Yes. Lotioning their little tails. So someday maybe I'll make that. I just want a possum head that is just like a Muppet head, basically.
And that would be so easy to do. I mean, compared to like a full fursuit head, like
Right.
you could make it so that when you open your mouth, your jaw opens the mouth of the mask,
Right.
like you
Yeah.
said, like it's a puppet. So that would work really well and have a cool effect. I've
Someday.
definitely seen things similar to that. Yeah.
Minmo had a raptor mask that you could just get from Target that people were using as like a base for stuff.
Mm,
I don't think they ever got around to making anything out of it, but apparently that was like an easy base a lot of people were using.
yeah, they were talking about wanting to take that back up
So we are
rather
in
than having a scope mold. Sorry,
you.
go ahead.
You are in the dealer's den. Were you in here before?
No, it just opened for the first time a little over an hour ago. So it was not open yesterday. So that means there's a bit of a feeding frenzy right now for people to get things that, especially any exclusive items from their favorite, creators.
Yeah. Do you think?
And this is definitely the time that like, if you see something, you snag it. That's while it's
Absolutely.
still there.
We have about a half hour until we've been going for 3 hours. Not that we necessarily, I don't know. And then any moment before your phone dies. Do we have any good shops we can hit up?
Oh yeah, let's see. Let's see what we can find. I'm really enamored with these suits here with these big googly eyes. They're crazy. I don't know if
Those
you can see them.
Yes, I love the color of the that one at the top. It looks like a coyote, not a coyote.
Yeah, one of them is like the worm on a string, basically.
Oh yeah,
And then there's this is like a raccoon. It's actually amazing, this raccoon suit.
that's really incredible. Just the colors on that,
Yeah, $2,200. It's beautiful.
worth. Um, Abby Go Around asks, "Do you have a maker in mind for your first fursuit?"
No, I don't. That's the tricky thing because different people really are better at different kinds of styles. How realistic, how cartoony, you know. Um, Now I think I know which of the like art of my Sona would make the best base. I think the most recent art that I just got, that painting style one, I think could translate to a fursuit head pretty well. So now I can kind of start looking to see which artists would be a good fit for that kind of thing.
Man, there's so much good stuff happening
Yes.
in these booths. If anyone knows any booths that are in the dealer's den, shout them out. We can see if we can find them. Do you, Devin? Do you know? Do you have something that? Do you have anything in particular you're looking for while you're here?
I mean, I want to just fall in love with a pre-made partial, so
Yeah.
like enough that I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna spend $2,000 on this, which was a very painful and insane thing to do, and that won't happen. But that's the dream.
Yeah. And also, who knows? Maybe you'll find a maker that you fall in love with,
Right.
and that you can start
Yeah,
planning around.
that's more realistic. Oh, actually, I do want to show this this tent here because this I'm wearing their shirt right now with this same design. So
Oh,
this blanket here,
yes.
if you can
Howl
kind of
out.
see it,
I think they're
howl out,
yeah. What is it? At howl underscore out.
howl dash out.
Howl
Yes,
dash out.
and they make clothing and accessories. They are trans indigenous owned company. They make really cool designs of especially wolves, and this is their latest line of kind of like cyber wolf gear. So they have some shirts with these same patterns on them, and I'm wearing one of them right now.
Their shit is absolutely sickening. It is so cool. Yeah, if there was an artist we
Yeah,
were gonna shout out that other than the ones that made our beautiful art for us, this probably be the top of my list.
yeah,
Very cool stuff.
yeah. How else shit rocks. I have also a tank top from them, and Mimo does as well. And they just make just beautiful patches, t-shirts, keychains, blankets, all kinds of stuff. It's just awesome. They've got really some prime real estate in the dealer's den this year, so
Yeah, they were kind of off on the side before.
yeah, yeah, they have a long line right now to get to them. So I'm glad that I bought the shirt that I wanted in advance.
Very smart. Oh man, that's a good tale.
Ooh, yeah. Some foam bases here.
Yeah, if people are unfamiliar, a lot of the way that fursuits are made are sculpted foam. Oh yeah, this is great you can kind of see what's under. This is the way that I think most fursuits are made, where there's this kind of harder foam that you sculpt into different pieces for the different parts.
Well, yeah, but the base.
There are some 3D printed ones here too as well,
Yeah,
which is a little less common.
I very badly want a skull head. I actually have a maker in that I follow on Twitter that it does incredible skulls, but I haven't decided. They're a little pricey, so I don't have like the money to. I always imagined I make music, and I always imagined playing a show with a like animal skull head.
So you'd be like Dead Mouse.
Right. Oh yeah.
But possum.
Literally, I didn't even think about that. Literally, dead mouse.
Dead possum. That would be very good.
Dead possum. I didn't even think about that. Oh, there's
that would be extremely strong.
To your left is a at least the logo of what's the animal? That booth you're sort of in front of, a comrade to all.
Oh yes. I bought a patch size of this, the Comrade Capybara, last year, because I was on the hunt for capybaras, and that was one of the only ones I could find was here. But they have some really nice deer.
Kami Cappy. Oh.
And, yes.
Extremely good.
Yeah, really a lot of good stuff. Roman bison.
Ooh, there's a very good protogen to your left or sort of behind you. Oh yeah, they kind of turn.
Oh my god, but that bright chartreuse. Oh my god, and their shoes match too. They have some really sick shoes.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
If there was one thing here that is this is a very good place to get is like pins. There are so many very good pins.
Pins, stuffed animals, waifu, pillows, lots of good stuff.
Lots of good leather too. I'm a huge fan of leather.
Yes.
Is that what I'm seeing on those racks?
Yeah, this is Emma Alamo, Chicago-based leather goods, harnesses. I believe you tried on some stuff at this shop last year, and I have a friend who also does modeling for them. And works in their shop.
I bought something from them last year.
Right.
And she was extremely good to put some holes in another piece that I had on me.
Yes. Yeah, so they make a lot of stuff custom to measure. Lots of different really nice colors of leather, as you can see. Harnesses, headpieces, collars. They have a tiny collar that's super cute. Very good day collar.
Abby Go Around is asking about a maker, a fursuit maker called Lemon Brat that is somewhere in here. So if you see Lemon Brat.
Okay. Lemon Brat. All right, I'll keep an eye out.
And thanks again for everybody for coming to this very strange experimental stream.
Yes, and thank you so much, Maddie, for making the tech for this to run. I can't believe it's even slightly watchable or listenable, but that's all a credit to all of your work on the back end and troubleshooting.
I don't know. I can't speak for the viewers, but from my end, this is working way better than I could have imagined. So I very much feel like I'm there in the room, which is very cool.
Yes, I'm glad you could get this taste of being here without the leg pain or having to drive. So it's the next best thing.
Oh, that's a good bird shirt, too. You just
Yeah.
passed.
Okay. This
Ooh.
person's suits are really nice. Look at that puffin. Cool.
Yeah, if you get an opening for one of the to one of these makers, maybe you could see if tell them you're on stream and see if they want to say hi and talk about their work. If you see
Oh
an
yeah.
opening, I love the caution tail sign. That's extremely.
Yes.
It's both aesthetic and functional.
Yes.
And Devin, just let me know if you need a break or you need to dip out. We can do
I
any of
mean,
those.
part of me is like, well, I'm sure the battery will die at any minute, so I'll just do it until it dies, and that's when I'll know. Which is my usual way of coping with any limit, I guess. Navigating any limit is just hitting it hard.
Oh, thank you so much, Abby. Abby says the sound quality is fantastic. There's hardly any background noise. Yeah.
That's amazing.
We actually Devin bought a a lapel mic for this, and then it didn't work. So this is just
Yeah.
Devin's normal earbuds
My earbud.
that he wears normally.
It's yeah. Fuck you, Google Pixel USB-C hookup because
So weird.
multiple mics did not work, but this got the job done, so it's all good.
So yeah, this is sort of the chill out area in the dealer's den. Is there food over here? I don't think there is. It feels like this is like
There's
food court.
food.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to get some plastic cheese nachos, which I often do.
Little recharge station.
Yeah, hot dogs. Yeah, after this, I'm gonna definitely have to find an outlet. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? I just saw them walk over, like down up this aisle, just heading straight. Yeah. Trying to hunt down anybody else I know. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just now doing a live stream on this fucking thing. Yeah, it's shockingly working. Is it live now? Yes. So say hi. This is Case. Hi. Hello. I'm Case. Case makes music on Twitch live. Yeah. Go to case.dog. Find all my stuff. Yes. Amazing. Yes.
Say hi to Case for me too. I know them.
I won't keep you if you're wandering streaming. Oh yeah, I'm just wandering around. We're just kind of trying out if it even works, and it has been. Natty says hi as well, by the way. Like, hi, Natty. Yeah. Case says hi. She's running the tech for this being at all visible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that it's not complete chaos. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna speed off. I'm gonna try to group up with some other people. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see you. Yeah, we're gonna all link up later. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yes. Great. Thanks. Bye. Yes.
Did they say case.dog? That's such a good URL.
Yes, case.dog. Yes. Because I think they're shown as like a jackal.
Yeah. Case, yes, Case, makes music and sometimes streams with Spoonie, who is also a great person to shout out.
Yes.
If you've been watching our streams, I think we actually rated them one of our first couple streams ago.
Yes. So some of you may have seen Spoonie. Spoonie streams from they're a PNG tuber, which means that they are you just see a cat drawing that moves when they speak and drink water and things like that. And Case streams from their studio, writing music, playing covers of music, all kinds of stuff. And they both live kind of attached to this beautiful theater in Kenosha that they're raising funds on Twitch to restore and rebuild. So that's another really cool aspect of their Twitch stuff that they do.
Yeah, that absolutely amazing stuff coming from both of them. I'm trying to put the URL case.dog in the chat, which finally I've done, and I imagine you can find. I haven't been to that website, but I'm sure you can find links to the theater stuff and Spoonie stuff as well.
Let me see if I can point you at this thing here.
Oh, that's extremely good. Well, you
and
do.
It says "Step on Me, Daddy."
Oh, oh, that is extremely good.
There's a whole lot of nothing here covering the dog's hole.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
And there's shower curtains.
Oh, that's good. There's a lot of lewd art tastefully covered by pieces of paper taped over them around in the dealer's den.
Yes. Tastefully obscured. Or not so tastefully.
I think one of my favorite things that I should have expected but didn't when I was there was the like real old dudes. There's just like a couple, like there was a dude that I met, that one of the artists that was like in I want to say he was in his 50s and 60s. Didn't you buy some Link
the big
art?
dick Link?
Yes.
Yes. I bought a resin standee of this like Breath of the Wild like Link, kind of like a biker AU kind of version, alternate universe with a huge dick. And this just old man was just shyly selling it like, oh yeah, this is the last one.
And then
the last one ever.
There was like an even older. I think there was in the so this is the dealer's den, which is larger, and then there's also Artists Alley, which is a little bit for smaller artists. Oh, we may have lost Devin. Devin, can you hear me? Oh. Devin still is on the call. I think. Oh, that might be it. They do. Nope. I think he is offline. I can't. He's still in the call. Yeah, I'm guessing it's not an internet issue at this point. We'll wait a couple more minutes and see if he comes back. But I'm gonna guess that was the power dying on Devin's phone. So yeah, we'll hang out here for a little bit longer. Just make sure that he doesn't come back. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Yeah, we can hang out on this screen for a little while, and you can see more of the beautiful art of me and Devin's. I'm sorry, Seb. It will all be available as a video on demand on Twitch, and then also it will be available as a video on demand on YouTube at Dr. Devin Price. Excuse me. And that bloop that you heard was Devin leaving the call. So that is it. Right? Yeah. Just making sure. Yeah, that was Devin leaving the call. Okay. Yep. So that's a wrap. Thank you so much, everybody. That was one of the like weirdest things definitely the weirdest thing we've done on the stream. One of the weirder things I've done personally as a creative project, and it was extremely fun. Thank you so much for everybody who was coming. It's Far. Thank you everyone who was in the chat. We're starting to get some regulars here. It's and we absolutely love you guys being here and asking questions and hanging out with us. Uh, please let us know what you'd like to see. Devin mentioned our future autism versus ADHD stream where we don't have anything planned yet, but the plan is to for us to discuss the differences and similarities between autism and ADHD, and while we are playing a some sort of 1v1 multiplayer video game, um, I would love suggestions on what that game should be. Um, I'm not sure what. It'd probably have to be on Switch, I would imagine. But PC it would also work, especially if it is Steam Remote Play. Um, good. Okay, if there was one goal we had, um, converting people, as it's known, is definitely it. So, thank you, KPPK. My suggestion: go follow all of the wonderful people that drew art for us in our art background. I'm gonna go to the hold screen where you won't be able to hear it, just so you can see the hear me, just so you can see the ads. So yeah, go follow all those wonderful people, especially Minmo here, and as well as our friends Case and Spoonie. Um, I don't have their ads handy, but yes, Seb. I will see you virtually soon. I am very sure. Um, yeah. So yeah, hit either me or Devin up for suggestions on games for our autism versus ADHD, or just stream ideas in general, or just general questions that you'd like answered. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna hop off. Thank you again. You guys are great. We will be back. We've been trying to stream we've been trying to stream at least once a week. And we are also planning on streaming. We want to push to get affiliate, which would mean that we need to stream 7 times in 1 month. So we don't have firm plans, but we're gonna probably try to stream in January. We're gonna probably try to stream twice a month. Um, we'll probably have some kind of regular schedule for that. But as of right now, we are trying to stream once a week, and you can sometime during the day, like East Central U.S. time. You can, Josh, you can write me pretty much anywhere. Tumblr is a great place. Jump into my ask box on Tumblr, but I'm also on Twitter at testdevice_. I'm on Mastodon at testdevice at mas.to, and co-host at testdevice. But Tumblr is a great place to jump into my ask box and suggest things or ask questions. All right. Well, again, thank you so much. I'm going to jump off. You guys are literally more lovely than I could have ever asked. Let's see if we have anybody to raid. So this is Devin's Twitch account, and so I don't know all of these streamers, but I'm going to assume that they're people Devin has vetted in some way because he's following them. There is a person called Jackal Pawpad streaming Uncharted 4, and we're gonna raid them because they seem to be a fellow furry. So Tell them I said hello if you stay. All right. Bye now.